entered the Cornish Jack comp, and I just, like I said, throwing some of these videos up for some of you guys that's never played in these. This is the second time or the third time I've played in this. The first time I actually should have got the Bonehead Award. I forgot my rod stand. Just the rules on this for anybody that was curious. And this is at the Congo. It's the best 10 or your biggest 10 Cornish Jack. The fun thing about this one is that you get plenty of fish most of the time. And there's kind of the rewards. The rib shad would be definitely a good one to get. Like I said, I'm still searching for another podium. I've only got, I think, one second place. So, but I've been grinding. One of these days it'll hit. It'll hit. So I'm gonna keep trying here. This one can be brutal as well. You won't. You get, like I said, you get a lot of fish, but the scores can be extremely high. So we're gonna give it a try anyway. You got an hour and 15 minutes, so the scores can be pretty high. I want to say 270 to 300 pounds or a 25 pound. 25 probably, I might even be low. Might even a 28 to 30 pound average. Who knows if these guys can get 10 unis or not, but this is usually a pretty fun one. This is one at least you'll have plenty of action on, so I just figured I'd throw it up and see how we do. Again, if you haven't played in it, this is Hit the Line Jack for the Cornish Jack at the Congo. Oh, by the way, I did play in the World Bass Tour Qualifier 1 today. Me and my friend John. Um, I think I finished with 97 pounds. Funny thing is, I actually threw a uni way right at the very end, and it only cost me 2 pounds. It wouldn't have mattered. The scores were even way higher than I thought they were going to be. Congrats to my friend Gen Josh here, Gen X Josh. He had one heck of a run, 10.9 pound average, so 109 pound fish. But kudos to Josh. I've seen him in here a lot, and he's on my friends list. He's played in a lot of comps with me as well. That's how I actually had met him. But my hat's off to this guy. That's one heck of a run. I want to say that's definitely should hold. So, but the cutoff on this thing, looking at Bam too. I see Bam's up there. Looking at this thing, look how sick this was. Top 20, you needed a 10.5 pound average. 105. That's amazing to these guys. I did finish with 97 pounds, 9.7 pound average. Not too bad. I got a little cold right there at the end. I started out really hot, but had a lot of fun for my first time in this. So anyway, we're gonna go after some Cornish Jack. And the thing in this comp here, there's probably, I'd say good 12, 15 spawn points, maybe more in the Congo. Cornish Jack are all kinds of places. So the big problem I've noticed playing in this before is you're gonna miss and get a lot of big eye catfish, almost no matter what you use. But there's usually plenty of action. Hook size probably 4 to 6.0. There might be some random guy using sevens or eights, but I want to say 4 to 6.0, pretty good hook size. Again, since you have an hour and 15 minutes real time, I would definitely don't stay at one spot too awful long, but you can over rotate as well. So, but yeah, the bass tournament was a lot of fun. Yeah, first fish, and it's a big eye. Almost could predict it. Again in this, oh, that's funny. That's awesome, Josh. Uh, I think we'll call that all on your own, man. You're the one working the lure. I just, hopefully you were watching when you were realizing that you could actually get bonus uni there. Me and my friend John, we've been trying that, and I don't know if they changed that right when, but we kind of had a feeling they would drop in some bonus unis somewhere, and I'm glad that helped you, man. Good to see one of my friends get up there in that top tier. And that's kind of what I've been doing to try to help some of you guys that with any knowledge I can pass on. And like I said, if that's ever reciprocated, definitely it'd help me. There's several comps on here that I haven't even got close to figuring out. One would be the Bobber Burbot, and that might not be the most exciting tournament for people or comp, but it's one that just drives me crazy. You have to try to get Burbot at the Salinge on a float. So anybody knows a trick on that one, let me know. Again, on this one, it's going to be kind of the same thing as your best 10 on a bass or anything like that. So, in other words, these trophies can go 23, 24 pounds, but you're probably, my guess is there's going to be somebody in the 280 to 300 pound range, I would assume. But this is usually a pretty good. Now, you can get 2 trophies in one spot and 1 uni. The trick is trying to get the uni, and that's usually where people will struggle. I do too myself. So I'm just going to kind of show you how this plays out and see what helps you and what doesn't. Again, you can start out fast-paced and get some of these, but ultimately it's your uni count and your big trophies that are gonna help you. But this is one of those that if you're up in this level where you can get into Congo and participate in this one's actually usually pretty fun. But yeah, I'm debating tomorrow. I may or may not play or stream in the qualifier 2 yet. I got stuff going at work, so I don't know what time I'll be home, but I might participate in qualifier 2. I'll have to get me a rundown. I think that's probably going to be brutal wading through the all the competition to get those unique largemouth there. But I might play in it just for fun. These right here, I wish I could fish for with a lure. And this can get kind of slow, but not real bad. You can always see the team guys up there already. That I don't know, Importer Anda. I can't pronounce his first name, but I see him in a lot in comps too. He usually does well. So again, like most of these, like I said, I'm just throwing these up. Not coming here saying I'm gonna play, so I just come in to have some fun and let you guys see what how these things play out and kind of where the score is, kind of what you have to do to set the bar. Again, you guys can go in and practice with your friends, setting up those templates. Just kind of see what your score is. And again, if you're intimidated by any of these things, a good thing to do is just look and see what the scores finish up like, and maybe do a practice run in the same peak and kind of see what you would get with your best 10. And then you kind of know where you'll fall. But yeah, I was impressed with all those scores today in that bass tournament. That's a lot A lot of pounds up there. The cutoff looks like it, and that thing's still kind of early. The cutoff could be 107, 106. That's a big average. And these guys are tearing up the trophies. What's going on here? I don't know if I want to come back to this spot. Again, ideally, you want to give each spot 10-15 minutes. I might have should have came back into this a little later. Sometimes it's all timing in these things. Man, am I going to have to switch to a 4.0? What peak is this? Oh, this is a nice peak. Tip top. Maybe this is a better one. I hope this is not a... oh yeah, there we go, Cornish. Trophy at least. Yeah, there's a trophy. Now here's where it gets hard. You've got a trophy, and how much longer do you wait it out? So like I said, I'm gonna try to just give each spot I go to around 15 minutes real time and just see if it plays out, and that'll be beneficial for you guys as well. Looks like that's probably a big eye. Yeah. Again, preferred baits on these. Just looking at the map real quick for you. I used to do okay with the... what is going on? There we go. My apologies, my stick drift or something there. I try medium cut bait and stuff. Nonetheless, almost whatever you're going to use, you're going to pick up the big eye on these night crawlers, tilapia, any of it. I usually freshwater prawns every once in a while I'll rotate in, but for whatever reason I have better luck with the live bait. In other words, all the minnow varieties. And small minnows will actually work as well. Again, the hard part is how long do you stick it out and wait for the uni. But ultimately, that's, as you can see how quick these scores go up. This guy's, and it's kind of in general how a lot of these comps will go, you'll see. And this guy's got a routine down where he's already got, this tournament just started probably, comp started 15 minutes ago, and he's already got a 23-pound average and 10 fish, basically. So again, adjust and kind of just learn from what I'm doing. I started this first spot, give it around 15 minutes. Again, ultimately, what's gonna help you is your biggest one. So, in other words, if you fill your net with commons, that's not gonna do you. Each spawn point should have 2 trophies and 1 unique. Proud of my boy Josh. That's good, man. He got a. How's that holding up here? I gotta check that again. Yeah, he should be safe. 109 pounds, he better be safe. That's insane. Good run. Jeepers creepers, what is going on here? Man, I didn't want to rotate already. I might have made a mistake rotating too early, but man, when it's that dead, I gotta get some fish in the net at least. Again, just a general rule of thumb I follow a lot of these 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes a spot. Just depends. Don't set on a spot that's not very active. Again, this is only the second or third one of these I played in. I got several marks for them, but another one of those things I normally would fish with a lure to pick these things up. It's like, there we go. We already got action. Could be a big eye though. Nope. Cornish jack. Nope. If it is, it's a small one. Yeah, it is. Again, this is kind of RNG as well, but you know, some guys might have figured out hook size and perfect rotations, that sort of thing. My guess is I might get 185 to 200 pound range. No guarantees though. That's probably a big eye. Yeah. In fact, I might throw on a bigger hook just on a couple of these. What's going on? Do I not have a 6-0 with me? Again, you guys might have to make adjustments on the fly, but I want to say 4 to 6 ought to be good. Not saying you can't catch some of them on the 7, but again, I'm looking for a quick bite and kind of just hoping that they rotate through. I know lure-wise, I'm usually using a 4 to 6-0, so I would think it would be in the same range. Down on the right through there. That should be a Cornish. Again, not to beat this thing in the ground, if you can see kind of what happens is that guy at the top's got a 26 pound average. Top two have 26 pound fish average. We're only rocking 100 or 11 pound average out of, and that's if we've caught 10. I'm pretty sure we've caught, yeah, we've caught 12. Take out those 3, 4, 5. Oh, we can gain a little bit. Okay, now in this situation, since we know we got 10, I'm gonna go ahead and up the hook size to 8, or we're close to 10 fish, and then see, or not 8, 6 O's, and see if that'll improve the quality of fish at all. Again, a lot of these things are random RNG, but what you'll also notice is the guys that, they got a good rotation. They know the spots where the unis, they get a little more frequently, that sort of thing. So there is a certain amount of skill to these things too. But I'm going to assume top 3 is probably 285 or 310-ish, somewhere in there. Or 28 to 31, that'd be... there's probably people that can get 10 unis, shockingly enough, as that might seem. Kind of always have in mind where you kind of want to go next. And I don't mind giving you guys marks, so if you guys need them, that's not it. So I have to go get in the boat and come this way, unless I walk across the bridge. I don't think that's a Cornish jack again. Maybe. A small one. Again, because since I keep getting small ones, as I pull them in, I'll just rotate out with just one size up. What's up, dude? Yeah, there. I'll just planning another comp. My buddy that watched, one of my buddies watched the stream today, and I helped him a little bit, and he ended up taking, or he's in third right now in the big bass tournament, so that's awesome. This guy's having fun down here. Z's. Oh, he's not even getting any. Try. This poor guy's not catching anything. Has he even caught a Cornish jack? Oh no, he's got one. Not too bad. Sometimes I really feel sorry for these people. You'll be surprised you're getting some of these and you're just not catching anything. My thing is, when does the uni finally roll in? Ever? That's a decent one, but I don't think it's a trophy or a uni. Again, since I've already got a full net, or you got 10, just kind of upsize hooks. Again, a lot of these guys have been playing in these for a considerable amount of time, so trying to keep up with these guys are not futile, but like I said, I'm just putting these comps up to give you guys a chance to Subnautica. Is that a fishing game too, bro? Subnautica. It sounds familiar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I play a couple games. I used to play Fortnite a lot, and then I love Battlefield 1. I still play that, but other than that, I'm kind of looking to have another game I can go and grind on here and there. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I got you. Yeah, I'll take a look at that sometime, man. You around in subs, or what is it? Just like a exploring game, adventure game, I would assume. Man, unique big, good miss, I guess. I got a unique, but I need the Cornish Jack. I'm gonna try to let this spot play out, guys. I don't want to rotate so much. I'm not getting a trophy or a uni. I gotta get a big one by now. So again, you gotta just make adjustments on the fly. As you can see, we got 155 pounds, but that's not gonna hold up. You need trophies and uniques. Again, the leader up there's got 274 pounds. That's a 27.4 average. Man, these things kind of get tough to be patient too. You can see kind of what happens is I'm waiting for a trophy or unique to come in. I know they're here. That doesn't appear to be a Cornish. Trying to see how many uniques this guy's got. He's got trophy, uni. Heck, I think this guy's on my friends list, isn't he? Is he? No, maybe it's the other row. And Subnautica has mods too, like the Gargantuan Leviathan mod. Huh. So you're just driving around in a sub and you're driving around in a sub and this is like an adventure game, I would assume? Like a submarine? Come on, give me a trophy or a uni. I still don't think that's a... This is the big eye capital of the... Grief. Alright, one more of those. I'm gonna have to start... I'm gonna just try something different. Getting way too many big eyes. But I'll probably pick them up on this too. That's the sad thing. It's hard to isolate the smaller cats out of this. It makes me wonder if these guys are. I wonder if he's using. He might be using a bigger hook. I just don't make sense. Come on, trophies. Let's get a trophy in here. Oh, survival game. I gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense. I think I've seen it. I'll look it up later, Mariska. I'm assuming it's on console as well. This is insane. I mean, I can't keep hopping around spot to spot. I've already spent time. See, just so you guys know, whenever you guys watch this, when you come into these things, uh, you just have decisions to make. In other words, for me, I feel like I've caught the commons, the trophy, and the uniques have to hit at some point. But how long do you give a spot? And that's usually the ultimatums or the dilemmas, so to speak, that you end up with is when do you rotate? Obviously, if you get a trophy in the uni, then you move. But when you've got commons at the same spot, you need to figure out a way to adjust. And again, you can learn a lot of these just by maybe having a little different approach than I took. But if anything, I hope I can help you guys out. And you can see by the okay, I used to play what was that? Resident Evil back in the day. That thing, speaking of like a horror game, I remember being down in the sewers and stuff, and those creatures crawling on top of the roof and stuff, and the ceiling in the dark. That'd be get pretty sketchy. You play that game with the lights out. Yeah, that I can imagine. Uh-oh, Deli's in here. You know, like I said, this is odd. You come in here and you get you start fishing a spot out. You think eventually your trophy or uni has to hit. And you know, just again, the dilemma is going to be for any of you guys tuning in. I've just been putting up comps lately, just to kind of help out people on my friends list and people on Fishing Planet in general. And uh, so I kind of just been going through each comp and just kind of posting this live as I go. And then if anybody helps anybody, and they can adjust and do things on their own. But the odd part is I can go around with a lure and catch trophies and uniques all day long, pretty much with the with lures. Spoons, buzz baits, all that. But I'm trying to let this cycle out and see if a trophy or uni will actually hit. Cornish, but I still don't think it's a trophy. Maybe. No. Gained 3 pounds. Did get one on medium cut bait. Alright. In this event, since we haven't picked up too many trophies and unis, I'm going to alternate baits out, as you probably would as well. Trying to figure out something different I can do here. Nonetheless, this is a comp that you can come in and usually catch plenty of fish at, so it's worth giving it a try, and maybe you'll figure out a trick of your own and be able to place in it. But Being we're almost 30 minutes in and we've only got one trophy, that's definitely not a good start. And I really don't want to have to rotate, but we might. I'm going to give it about 2-3 more minutes, guys. If I don't get something, at least that's what I do. But following along, just kind of watching these things play out, you can kind of see what'll happen. You know, how long do you wait it out, and what adjustments do you need to make? And that's kind of ultimately what you're going to have to decide. Again, this is, random's number generated on the sizes and stuff sometimes, but when you got that wide a variety of a skill gap, if you look at first through third, they're so far ahead of everybody else. I'm basically at almost a 16-pound average. The one couple guys got 20-pound averages, but then the guys at the top, they're absolutely just shredding people. I kind of wish they'd also format these so maybe the top 10 get prizes. Maybe the top 3 get the X series lures or whatever in gear and bait coins, but maybe the below third to, so let's say 4th through 10th, maybe just get at least get something. That would also help, I think, in participation in these things. Alright, when the clock strikes 40, I'm moving. I cannot give this place any longer. This is insane. I know our hook size is fine, 4 to 6 O's. I mean, they're only 35. That's a big one. Gargantuan Leviathan is a super big monster. 5 kilometers. Is that like 15 feet? 5 kilometers. Yeah, that'd probably be. How far is kilometers? Let me look and see. I'm going to have to do the conversion. 5 km to feet. Oh, wow. That's way more than that. That's like 1,900 feet. Good grief. Yeah, that's a big monster, bro. So almost 2,000 feet long. Man, this is horrible. I cannot believe I cannot even get. Okay, you see how these things can kind of play out, guys, and you just want to hop around, go to some of the other spots. You know what's funny? I think I just went to the wrong spot, too. Sure did. Is there an invisible rock there? If this was a Trophy Big Eye tournament, we'd be on fire. There's a Cornish. Large minnow jump square. I think I had one. Oh, yeah, there we go. I had one. I'm sorry, I'm having to text people at work too. Sorry, I'm on the phone at the same time. Man, we just cannot get the trophies and the unis for nothing. Alright, sixes aren't working, so I'm going to try to go to fours and see if that helps out anybody, but it makes no sense that we have to go down. You'd think he'd just pick up more Big Eye, but we'll see. Man, we just cannot get in the upper range with these guys. Got plenty of them, just not getting the big ones. That feels like a bigger one. Maybe. There's a trophy. Of course. Sorry guys, had a phone call. I wanna say, I think that's, nope. Again, in these things, you kind of got to be ready to shuffle quick. Pretty sure. Right here. I think that might be Big Eye as well. Yeah. Alright, guys. I got a lot of markers on this map, so. We're not doing horrible, but we could be doing a lot better. I gotta make a phone call. Hold on one second. Okay, this is exactly what you don't want to happen and start catching. I was worried about this spot when I came here. You don't want interference with too many of these big fish. Definitely don't want to stay here. That's a total big miss, so you definitely don't want to do that, guys. I'm going to go back to this first spot and see if, again, you'll have a respawn timer, so you can come back over here. Again, a lot of this I'm just putting up to kind of show you how this plays out, so if you have your own spots, definitely go try those out as well. But I think there's definitely something these guys have figured out that a lot of people haven't. As you can see, a lot of the teams are always up there again. So you're looking at, you already got a 29 point some pound average. And the odds are these guys probably have 4 or 5 solid spots and they're just letting them respawn and then hitting them again, it's my guess. But we'll see. With that being said, we'll see if a unique or a trophy pops up here again. Alright, good grief. Enough phone calls. But yeah, as you can see, these guys, this is kind of getting what you're up against in these comps. This guy here is just gone off the rails here. I don't know how many uniques he's caught. But that's going to shoot him up there. But again, you can kind of feel where they definitely need to adjust the intermediate level for guys that are just learning here on my friends list, getting into these comps. So once you've leveled up, you can see how big of a skill gap there is on the majority of these competitions. And my apologies for all interruptions. I had some work-related phone calls I had to take care of. So, uh, again, I would definitely do a little practicing before you come into this. Otherwise, it's not bad if you place 25, top 25 or 30 when you're just starting on these things. But to ever be consistent enough to where you get a prize, if you look at a lot of these comps, you're going to find that there's just a major skill gap. You don't even really win anything. For any of you guys that are on my friends list and subscribers, you don't really win anything unless you're top 3, and there's kind of what you got to win from. You'll get a little bit of cash, but by then you've already leveled up. So you're not getting XP from these things. These are just for fun, and they just come in and just kind of test yourself on what you know. But you'll see that the unfortunate part is they need to kind of have an intermediate level for people playing in this. But again, I'm just kind of being your guys' guinea pig on a lot of these comps just coming in. And I got the comps I really like, and then there's some that I go in just to, wow, that just... Oh yeah, buddy, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I've been trying. You fish good too, Dan. I've seen a lot of your stuff. I've just been helping my friends out here and some other guys. I'm not the best at these Cornish jack. I would be fishing these with a lure most of the time, but I've been putting a lot of these up. And one of the guys that played in the qualifier cup today, he'd watched my stream. I went ahead and went live with me and a buddy, and I ended up all right. I think I had 9 or 10 unis with the 97 pounds. I think what I got up there, but my friend Gen X Josh is actually in third right now. I think he got 109 pounds of bass and 10 bass, so he did extremely well. But we figured out fairly early that there was a bonus uni at the Infinity Tunnel, so I'm glad that was to help him out. But yeah, yeah, I've seen you up there, Dan. If you're the same Dan Gamer, I'm pretty sure you're the guy that's really good at the shark and stuff. I'll have to check out your YouTube, man. I've seen you before. Any of you guys tuning in, bouncing out of these, it's just me in here trying to help you guys out. And like I said, I don't get embarrassed if I do horrible in one of these, but I can tell you a couple for sure. These comps to stay away from is the huge eye. That one can be absolutely miserable, and the bobber burbot. I'm still trying to figure out enough to go in there and give you some kind of a blueprint to go off of. But you know, the odd part is I've caught plenty of these little unis and trophies before, but I don't think my hook size is that far off. It's got to be 4 to 6 O's. There might be a random guy that's doing that might be a decent one. There's a trophy, okay. So there is definitely a respawn time. So they might just be rotating 4 or 5 spots, guys. They got their hot spots, and then they just kind of go in a sequence maybe. But I know I've got a lot of marks for these things, but I think no, that's not even it. I know there's some down through here. There's unique. See, I even a lot of these places to come around. You can. There's some more over here. Yeah. See, there's so many of these spots you could hit, but I'm normally fishing with them with a spoon. And then there's, I think, some more right here. No, that's not it. Is it down here at the end? Yeah, there's more there. They're all over this map, so kind of just find you a sequence, find your spots that you like, and rotate out. I'm pretty sure that's what Rocost here is probably doing. He's got his little honey holes, and he's just rotating through and letting it sequence out. But that's like I said, some people get on here and start claiming people are cheating. I don't think anybody's cheating at all. I think they just got a system down to make Fishing Planet a little more fair on these competitions in general. I think to have more participants and better prizes, I think they need to just kind of split the playing field in half, and maybe even do away with the amateurs. Have an intermediate, and where you win so many on podiums. Super Dave, one of the popular Fishing Planet streamers, had suggested you do that. In other words, once you've placed so many times, then you get up here with the bigger boys. What's the best lure so I can get it underwater? The best lure. Hold on, I'll have to pull that up, man. I didn't get to see that in time. Let me go on my channel real quick and look what you just said. What's the best lure so I can get underwater? Uh, Bass jigs are alright if you're trying to. If I follow along with what you're saying, Riska, you're trying to fish underneath like lily pads and stuff. Spinners and jigs will actually go through the. Don't try to throw like a crankbait or something into the lily pads if that's what you're meaning. But yeah. There's another nice one. All right, we finally got a unique, guys. Only took 6 years, but you kind of see I just rotated around and finally got a unique. So at least we got one. Now since I've got a unique and trophy from here, like I said, I think as you can see that stuff kind of just respawns. So you know, just kind of another close spot you can go is here. I got one more spot down this way if you wanted, but if anything, I've gave you plenty of little markers that you guys can get a head start on this stuff. Like I said, I don't really have too many top secret marks that I would keep from anybody, especially on Cornish Jack or something like this. And again, I'm a fan of the game and like playing, so it's just for entertainment for me for the most part. Now, as you can see, the scores are about up there where I thought, that 285 to 300 pound range. So that's kind of what you're looking at. You're looking at basically 8 to 10 unis, almost like the World Bass Tour today. So that's what you're going to run up against in the hit the line jack. Get any guys tuning in? A guy that just started a YouTube channel a couple weeks ago. I had a request of my friends. I've just been kind of helping them and posting up stuff in comps. You know, I'm learning my way through these comps, and I put up several videos. Check out the channel if you'd like. I've been doing live streams just to kind of go through each comp and kind of see how they play out. And a lot of times you might learn more from what I'm doing wrong than I am right, but again, you can make some adjustments. If anything, pick up a few marks in some of these competitions. And then, even though it feels like, you know, these top 5 are unattainable, maybe one day fishing planning again will adjust some of this stuff. So, you know, bigger prizes, more participation, bigger prizes, that sort of thing. So I would assume that they might change this business model for their competitions at some point. Nonetheless, I'm not gonna knock the game. It's a great game. I just think if they do some adjusting and tweaking on it, it could be even better than it already is. But again, I'm gonna let this cycle out and see if we can get a trophy or unique over here. We got one at the other one, so might save 10 minutes and try to hit a new spot, pick up another trophy. But again, as you're watching all these little comp videos I put up, just kind of make it your own and make your adjustments. And if anything, you just basically got an idea how things are gonna go. Again, also on my channel, I put up a how to set up custom practice templates for these comps. So basically, you just want to go look in the peak and stuff, but check out that video. In other words, if any guys that are starting to get into the comps and you're kind of bored because they haven't added a new lake, comps are a good way to go around. And if anything, you can, you know, set up custom comps. They'll have a basic template for this hit the jack, and that's all you got to do. Set up. Nice, man. You got a trophy bluegill on your bass jig. That's awesome, dude. Was you did you have it paired with anything like a grub or anything, or just a straight jig? Okay, well, we did hit a 20-pound average. We got 14 minutes. I'm going to save about 10 minutes and probably hit one more spot if I can walk my way over to it here in a second. Oh, just some shad. Yeah, that's a good pairing, man. A little too. You still you're at Lone Star. Grinding out Lone Star. Yeah, get your money saved up, man. And I want to say you're level 16 or 18 somewhere in there. As soon as you can get to a lot of people, Emerald Lake's not bad, but you could grind it to Everglades. I want to say that's level 22 somewhere in there. Again, anybody tuning in, I'm just kind of showing. Level 19, right on, making your move, man. Yeah, Emerald's not bad either. You can make, you know, I just wouldn't get stuck at Emerald too long. If I could go back and do my leveling experience all over, I wouldn't have stayed at Emerald as long as I can. I want to say that opens up at level 10. But that's a good place to still rank up. I think I ranked up there, and then I went to the Everglades, and then I farmed. I still had fun with the bass fishing there, don't get me wrong, but I think I actually farmed drum and snook there once I had the gear big enough. And then I want to say I went to St. Croix. Now my buddy D's Universe, who always streams, I think he went to Falcon somewhere. He was saying the other day, I was asking that same question. If he was to do it over, what would he do? But I think he liked the like farming the trout, so that's also an option. And just kind of watching. Make sure that one thing I'll tell you at your level, make sure you save up and get you a a decent sized keep net. That's one thing that I struggled with when I first started playing the game, is having a keep net big enough to hold off all your fish. In other words, if you're fishing at a place with a small keep net, man, you got to figure out what your profit is. Once you stack up your cash, get to those other levels, you're gonna the higher level lakes, you'll rank up. But in other words, don't spend too much on your lures and stuff like that. Get the ones that are money, even if they're generic, for a while. Focus on getting a bigger keep net, because that keep net's what's going to get you more money. In other words, if you're having to fast forward through a day and you only got 30 pounds of fish because you got a tiny keep net, not to mention some of them you can't even keep. That happened to me, just kind of being a noob when I first started playing. But I think I'm going to spawn there, and then I'm going to come down to a different spot here. I got two spots here. Let me try this one. I got another spot out here somewhere. Yeah, that's not it. And again, watching me, like I said, this is the second or third time I've did this comp. So again, if I was to farm these guys, I would be farming them in a boat. But this is a comp, so I'm just trying to help you guys out and kind of just show you how everything plays out. And I want to say, yeah, there's another spot. I've been to that one before though already. Let me, might be easier if I get my boat. But yeah, as you can see, we're in 13th, and I've been rambling. I had work phone calls to handle at the same time, but got a 20-pound average. So again, these guys at the top that's playing in this has definitely got a lot of experience catching Cornish jack and playing in these comps repetitively. So, but nonetheless, just to kind of widen your experience in the game, you kind of want to just dive in there and get a basic model of what you want to do. We know that the tiger fish are there. Here's the spot I was looking for. Again, I'll kind of show you. This is a spot that normally I would just go to and cast a lure, but here's another. Like I said, I go out and fish with these for a lure most of the time. I wouldn't. This is not something I would go out and fish for with bottom rod. So myself, I'm even kind of out on my element. I go and catch these for fun, and I normally just match up the gear, fish with a smaller spinning setup, But nonetheless, this is a competition. You can at least come in and have fun and catch several fish, and then just get your own little rotation. And that's a good thing about Fishing Planet. They offer a lot of different competitions and lakes. So if you like catching bass, you can go to Florida or Mississippi and all the other lakes on here. If you like catching shark, you got Amazonian maize. If you like Nile perch and tigerfish, and even a lot of the smaller varieties at every lake is fun. So it's got a little bit of diverse, or I should say great diversity of fish and whatever you want to go fish for. And a lot of the maps, I think, one thing that sets Fishing Planet apart, the graphics are amazing. The game feel, this first-person fishing game is I think it's second to none in my opinion as far as the game feel, the rods and reels set up, and actually fighting the fish. So it's a great game. I think if they keep tweaking it, it could build even more. So as we close this 8 minutes, we're hoping we can just pick up another trophy or unique and get up there a little ways. But nonetheless, I've gave you a decent foundation you can go through, change some hook sizing, some baits, maybe rotate a little differently than I did. But it's a fun competition. Like I said, you can just see the big skill gap there from the top 5 down to here. I'm a 50-pound average off pretty much, so, or 5-pound average off. Just a simple mouth on it. I've caught 10 of them that are around 20 pounds. The leader's got basically 10 uniques. 10 uniques, maybe 9 if he had a really big trophy. So you kind of just got to figure out how many trophies you can get and then go from there. Start picking up a few uniques and you'll be in good shape. This might be a good size one. I can't tell. Trophy, maybe? Yep. That jumped us up a few pounds, 7 pounds anyway. Again, one thing I do know from fishing with these, again, I'll give you this mark again if you guys want it. The funny thing is I can go and catch this one all the time with spoons or anything else. Now this is just a bait mark that I'd mark for that freshwater prawns, but you can see I didn't get the unique off of bait yet, so that's just some adjusting you need to make on your own. There's another unique, so that's another spoon. You know, I normally would catch those on lures. Now all the way over here somewhere there's a spawn point. Maybe here? Yeah. You can see I usually hop around for fun if I'm going to target these things, and I'll just fish with them with a lure, man. But I normally downsize my gear. In other words, I'm using the biggest bottom rods just because I want to be able to reel them in quick. Now, if I'm going to fish for these things to have fun, you know, I'd put a 35, 40 pound setup in there and just give them a good test. I'm a little different than a lot of the streamers you'll see. I like to have, if I'm just fishing with lures and stuff, I usually like to, unless I'm in a comp, I kind of like to just have the fish fight so it seems more sim. In other words, I don't mind a 3 or 4 minute fight time as opposed to just kind of reeling them in like minnows. But in comps, to save yourself time, you kind of got to fish with oversized gear almost. In other words, for these right here, an ideal matchup for these would probably be the bottom sniper, and then the Brutus for the float, and then maybe a cat boxer would be a little better match for them. In other words, these things can pull in 300-pound catfish and 400-pound Nile perch and everything else. So these are the big rods, but just you kind of do your own thing. If you'd rather come in and just have a little more fight time, you can. And I want to say this spot. Yeah, there's more there as well. Yeah, that's another spawn point if you needed. Like I said, I probably gave you a good 10 marks to go off of, but my estimate, there's got to be 12, 15, maybe even 25 places you could go through and catch these things. But again, the guys at the top, you can't take anything away from them. They've probably just grinded this out. So a lot of times some of these people get, you know, they'll say they're cheating or whatever, and you're in a random lobby, but they're not cheating. They just got a routine down. Now, there is one thing that I will say that I've seen on a couple of YouTube channels, and I think it's probably true. There's people that have multiple accounts, and they're entering amateur tournaments with all the experience, and they basically just go in there and just basically just kick everybody's butt in the smaller tournaments. Now, if anybody's doing that, I would agree that that's definitely should be against the code of conduct, and they should be banned. But these top guys here, these guys are all guys that fish hard, so my hat's off to them. I'm not gonna knock them or call them cheaters. But if there's anybody running duplicate accounts, in other words, that definitely shouldn't be. That's not a good business model to follow. So I would assume Fishing Planet will go through and adjust all that. But again, we got like 3 minutes left. I'm trying to wait this out. I don't think I have enough time to spawn out and try to get another spot here. But so it looks like we're going to finish up with 20.7 pound average, or 207 pounds of Cornish Jack. Again, what you're doing on Hit the Jack comp is you're looking for your best 10 in your net, and that's where the scores on the left are coming from. The score on the right's the biggest one that you caught. And the only reason that would go to your secondary score, let's say the guy at the top there, Deli, if somebody had exactly 297.582, then the tiebreaker is the second number. So whoever had the biggest fish would break the tie. Again, on these things, you only get cash from, I want to say, top 20 to fourth, but you only get any real prizes as far as bait coins and that sort of thing. You will only get for the top 3. Again, when you guys go to enter this, look for all your information. But the rewards, so if you're just curious, nobody's really getting anything special unless you're third or better. And I'm hoping they adjust that at some point too. I mean, you pick up a little cash, but that's not really that much cash. It's the top 3 you're kind of aiming for. So again, on my channel, I showed you how to set up custom templates and stuff. You want to practice with you and your friends, and just kind of use this as a nice little foundation to get you started, hopefully. But you got plenty of marks in the idea, so again, I'll be trying to enter a lot of different comps, just even if I do poorly or in the medium, or maybe, you know, I might place in the top 10 or 5, hopefully, eventually. So again, as I figure things out, I'll try to pass it along to you guys and hopefully help you out. And it looks like we're going to be dead here at the last. I might have just enough time. Let me see if I can get over here. I don't think that I will. Oh, you got an X Series 4.0? Yeah, you'll get stuff periodically, bud. Just depending on, you'll get other X Series gear. You don't only win X Series gear from comps. You'll get it from 30-day stays, random challenges. Let me show you that real quick. Hold on. How do I find that? If you look over here, Mariska, go down through here and it'll show you what you can win. But that's like special events. I got all my missions done, but these are just like challenges you can do. If you guys are watching this, you can go through. It'll tell you certain challenges. Now you can get lures and stuff, X Series lures, just by completing these challenges. I've got a lot of mine already completed, but that's a good way to go through. See, I can get an X Series barbless hook and 3 things if I turn my kayak over another 100 and what is that, 37 times or whatever. So, or no, 127. But and then just go down through. But check these out if you're looking for. You can get some good crankbaits and stuff. I went through and got all these done. But if you guys didn't know that, it'll pop up and kind of show you there. But it's a good idea to go through there, and you can pick up extra bait coins. And a lot of those challenges are, you know, some of them can be time consuming, but there's some of them really easy. So just go through here and kind of look on your profile, and it'll see. I still haven't did that one, but you can go through here and I'll go through your stays. And in other words, if you stay at one spot long enough, you'll get some pretty good stuff too. Now this one here is risky, but I'll go ahead and give it a try. The odds are I'll throw this out and get a catfish. Again, this mark here, I usually fish with a lure. But this is here on a spawn point, so if you get confused, I noticed you seen me at the start of the stream or midpoint through the stream, I didn't get stuck, but I kind of got lost in translation with so many markers. So, you know, if you had to, you know, this is just at a spawn point. You can just come over here. But like I said, I normally fish for these things with a lure. But I will warn you, if you try this spot with, there's catfish over here as well. So you kind of want to isolate things down to where, in other words, if you're going to miss, you don't want to catch, you know, an 80-pound catfish. You prefer to mess with the smaller ruddies like the big eyes, the drafts, that sort of thing. Oh, you got an X Series hook. Yeah, you'll get them periodically. I can't remember, Mariska, how you pick up all those things. But like I said, if you're looking for specific things, just kind of go through your challenges, and you can see what's obtainable, what kind of at your level and stuff, what makes sense. But I know a lot of times you can for free marker buoys and stuff like that. I know if you stay like at a lake for 3 days, 5 days, and 10 days, it'll give you like one marker buoy for 1 day. A 3-day stays like 3 marker buoys, something like that. And then I want to say for 10 days it'll give you. So if you stay at one lake for 10 days when you first get there, you'll get like 8 marker buoys, which saves you some bait coins as well. Okay, guys, we can see that we got the. We didn't do bad. We left on about 13th, so. And I may participate in the qualifier 2 of the. There's actually a big tournament going on, bass tournament. I just played in this one today with my friend John, and oh, my friend Josh is down there. I want to say I finished with 97 pounds. Yeah, so I'm down there, but I was just a few fish away. So you can see the difference of this year to last year. I don't want to say last year I'd looked and what the scores were, and they went up a lot. So this is going to be some high scoring. But I may play tomorrow at some point. I want to see qualifier 2. I want to say is at Quanchkin in 18 hours. And yeah, top 10 will be awarded. Yeah, it'll be kind of the same thing. It's looking like largemouth and spotted. I would assume most people are going to go for the largemouth because the spotted are the smaller varieties. I may play in that, and if not, qualifier 3. I did make the finals in the Catfish Cup, and that's when I first was starting to learn comps. Oh, that one will be weird. Where's this at? Oh, Maroon River. Whew. That'll be even harder. That's a tough place to go and try to isolate your bass out. So I might participate in that as well. But anyway, guys, I might even play in this other one later. I have not played in this one yet. One of the few carp tournaments or comps that I haven't joined. I might play in this one in a little bit, but I'm going to take a little bit of break and I might come back with another stream in a little bit. So anybody that tuned in, I appreciate you guys coming and stopping by. So take care. Again, I might come back and play in that in here about 30 minutes or so. So with that, I'm going to end the broadcast. Mariska, good seeing you, man. Keep ranking up, and I'll take a look at that game sometime. Was that Subnautica, I want to say you said? All right, I'm going to end the stream here. Take care and good luck, guys.